Alright, so this video, the structure of it is going to be a little bit all over the place, but I'm going to cover some of the racing happening around the world this weekend. Obviously, it's probably the last sort of good Group 1 day in Sydney. Then on Sunday, there's the Japanese 2000 Guineas, which is going to be a really interesting race. There's stacks of good horses competing against each other in that race. And then obviously in England, there's the racing at Newbury. Obviously, we've had the Craven meeting this week, which has thrown up some interesting results. But yeah, we'll start off at Ascot. Ascot have their one of their premier race days, the Quokka, which is worth $2 million to the winner. So I won't spend too much time here because I don't know that much about WA racing, but I'm just going to keep it really simple. Group 2, Karrakatta Plate for the 2-year-olds, 1,200 metres. I have gone through it a little bit, but apparently this Oran Bell goes pretty good, but barrier 16 is just fucking disgusting, to be honest. So I found a beatie, I think. Broke through at listed level last start. And it's just like William Pike riding. William Pike, he's just so good in WA. I feel like that meme where there's like a lion and a cat. William Pike's the lion in WA, but then he's a cat anywhere else. But yeah, just probably back William Pike here blindly. Although this horse does have form behind it. As I mentioned, it won a listed race last start. So yeah, it should be a good chance. Although, it currently says soft. I don't know what the weather's been like in Perth recently. If it's good, I'll probably have a bet. But, if it stays soft, I don't know what the weather's like there. So yeah, it looks like a good horse. Move on to the main race, the Quokka, worth a shitload of money. Obviously, a lot of Eastern horses going over there, obviously because of the prize money. Horses being prepped for this, not going to the TJ Smith, those sorts of races in favour of going here and being competitive. So I'll just have a quick go through it. Jigsaw, obviously one of the fancied horses, has been a real revelation as of late. Won that Group 1 in New Zealand, then won the William Reid. Sorry, I was going to call it the Winston Reid. Don't know what race that is. But yeah, judging by his momentum, he should be a massive chance here, albeit being in barrier 13. You've got Cabalus with Bjorn Baker, who is really flying at the moment and, has won these races in the past with the likes of Overpass. And this horse here is coming off winning the Newmarket Handicap, so obviously has a massive chance. If I was going to have a bet here, which I'm not, it'd be Ray Magnuria. I just think it's just drawn really well. Won here last time. Obviously ran first up in the William Reid. Came sixth, but I think with Caulfield this autumn it's been a bit all over the place. So sixth is probably, in hindsight, a pretty credible run first up as well. And then if you go through some of these others, it's just sort of those sort of WA sprinters. This Smooth Chino has been getting quite a big rap as well. I'm not sure why. I haven't really looked into it that much. But yeah, I think it'll be fought out between the top three here. But if I was betting, it'd be Ray Magnuria just because of William Pike being a cheat code and drawn barrier 5, and has a prior win here in the Gold Rush. So we'll move on. That's all I really want to talk about Western Australian racing. Back to the good shit, the good sauce. Randwick. Start off at race 5, the Frank Packer Plate, 2,000 metres, Group 3, 3-year-olds. These are sort of horses that weren't good enough for the Derby, and they're kind of having their sort of probably final run, or maybe some of these might be having a prep run for a Queensland winter preparation. So we'll have a quick look. I've narrowed it down to 2 here. I think there's a lot of horses that could improve, but I think there's 2 chances. And first one's Matthias. Came third in the Carbine Club Stakes last start. I think it was a rain affected track. But I had a look at the replay and he doesn't scream at me like he's a 2,000 metre horse. Obviously Natural Wheeler rides, so he'll be able to get the absolute most out of it. But I just don't know that he'll get 2,000 metres. We'll go to the horse now that I think is like a really interesting chance. his price just doesn't. I just can't understand it, to be honest. It's a Eureka Rebel, $16, and he was last seen running second in the Tulloch Stakes, behind Storm Leopard. You know, it was a bit of a rain affected track, and also the favourite there, Arcora, who I thought would have won the race, broke down. So, you know, there might be a few question marks about that line of form. However, it's a Group 2. Like, what are we doing here? How's it $16? There's horses here that like showed some promise in a midweek, and they're higher in the market. Like, I just cannot understand that. So I've had a little bet on Eureka Rebel because I think, with my thinking, he should end up like $9, $8. I think that's a really, really weird price, and we know he's going to get the trip. Like, I think he was beat by a pretty good horse in Storm Leopard last start, which, you know, kind of took away from his performance a bit. But, you know, he was going all right at the end there. He wasn't like being like charged. He wasn't being overrun, kind of. You know, I think 2,000 meters is his sort of trip. It won't be, the distance won't be a query for him. So, yeah, I think Eureka Rebel's a really interesting horse in the Frank Packer Plate. Right, we'll go to the next race. Not that one. The Champagne Stakes, really good race. Historically has thrown up some very good horses. Like Piero. Although to be fair, I think Nepotism won it last year and he's done fuck all since. So, yeah, Group 1, 2-year-olds. But there's one horse here for me, and that's Campione d'Italia. Although, to be fair, that's kind of a lie. There's a few other horses here that I like the look of. But obviously, I think he's the best horse here. I think J-Mac's going to ride him very similar to last start. He gets a good draw in Barrier 4. You know, I think he's the class horse, and I think he's going to be a really good 3-year-old. He's an improve. Obviously, didn't go to plan in his debut start. Came fourth in the Golden Slipper. Like, arguably should have won. I feel like this is his race. You know, I feel like he has to win this. Obviously, Fireball kind of was a bit of a revelation last start. You know, he came back into form, runs third in the size produce. This South End is apparently quite good. Although I just don't love that sort of form. Those sort of quality sort of races. I don't know. I'd rather some concrete set weights form. Just a personal preference. We'll look at a few of these others. Diameter won last week. Persian Wonder goes okay, but obviously drawn barrier 11 is a very, very difficult challenge to overcome. Miss Chanel run an absolute blinder in the size produce, but once again barrier 12. Grinzinger Heart's kind of interesting. Obviously carries a different line of form. She won the Victorian size produce, which is over 7 furlongs. Yeah, she's probably an interesting one at $20, but I think Campione d'Italia is just so much better than these, to be honest. You know, I think he should have won the Golden Slipper, wins the size produce, and a mile should suit him to the ground, I think. So, should be a good race though, I think. Go to the next race. We'll mention some things about this. Obviously, the glaring horse, Joker's Grin. Elite Western Australian sprinter, but I kind of think that won't translate. And I feel like the stable probably knows that as well, because obviously he didn't run in the TJ Smith. Didn't go to like a new market or something where he would have held or carried a ton of weight probably. But, he's come here to the Group 3 Hallmark Stakes. Yeah, it's probably it's a very risky bet. Joker's Grin. Private Eye, what an absolute legend of a horse. He's been around for a long time. Won $12 million in prize money. Fucking hell. Comes here first up. He could just win because he's that sort of horse. He's just so consistent. But yeah, it's just it's an okay race. Some interesting horses running there. Right now, this is the big one, for the whole weekend, in my opinion. No, there's a big Group 1 in Japan, but this is a very good race. 1,400 meters, weight for age, Group 1. It's an interesting one because it's horses that are, have been campaigned over a mile, and this is the last Group 1, like in Sydney for a while. Like they kind of want to make the most of their preparation. But there's also sprinters who, they're being stretched out a little bit, and I feel like that's a lot of the time that's good for them, because obviously in Australia they're so focused on sprinting that, like, they might not be a natural sprinter. Like we saw that with Lady Shannon Doa. Obviously ran so well last week, and she'd been forced to be a sprinter, but gets bumped up to a mile and runs amazing. So I think a lot of these horses will improve. But there's one horse here that really, like, I just love, and that's Angel Capital. I think this is the race for him. He's so overdue for a Group 1. Has he won a Group 1? I feel like he won, maybe, I don't know. I thought he won one as a 2-year-old or something, but I think he's more of a miler, but I think 1400 will be, I feel like he's crying out for it. I think with J-Mac booked as well, like, he could have ridden Fangirl, and he's hopped off her to ride Angel Capital, so that kind of is a really telling bit of info for me. But I think Angel Capital he's just so overdue for, like, a win at the top level. Obviously Fangirl, like, what a champion. 7-year-old, won so many Group 1s. Now she returns here in the All-Age Stakes. I hope she runs well, but I think, there's fitter horses, more emerging types of horses. I think Lazura's flying a bit under the radar, but that 1500 back to 1400 is a bit sharp at the end of a long prep. Although she hasn't had very many runs this prep, I think it's a little bit sharp for some of these. Bayvact will be interesting. Obviously, his career best performance was in the Golden Rose, over 7 furlongs, where he broke the track record or something. So it should be interesting. Royal Patronage returns. Pericles has been battling away here for the last the last sort of prep and the spring as well. He's thereabouts. Half Yours being $23 and Tom Kitten being $41 is just mind blowing to me. It should be swapped around. And Tom Kitten going from the Australian Cup back to 7 furlongs is baffling to me. I think Cascadian did it a few years back. I don't know. He might have won it or something, but that's a really baffling bit of race planning to me, to be honest. But yeah, I think Giga Kick's running as well. Has he run over this distance before? I feel like he hasn't. Oh, he has once. That might have been that. Yeah, I don't know when that was, but yeah, I think Angel Capital is the one here. Just, yeah, nice horse, and he's overdue to win at the top level. All right, so that's pretty much it for Randwick. I'll just talk about some of the other stuff that's happening. So on Sunday afternoon, the Japanese 2000 Guineas, really good race. If you're kind of, following Japan form, this is the best horses in Japan, basically. Obviously 2000 Guineas, so you can kind of compare it to, maybe the English 2000 Guineas, Irish 2000 Guineas, although this one is over 2,000 metres rather than a mile. So, these are real budding stayers. But I've gone through it and I've had a look. I think Love Sen, who's the favourite, and that kind of tells you a bit about the race. The fact that the favourite is $6.10 on the Japanese tote or market, I guess. He won the Hopeful Stakes, which is the staying Group 1 for them, for the 2-year-olds, and ran well for his first start as a 3-year-old. Matsuyama, don't know his first name, retains the ride. He looks very good. His win in the Hopeful Stakes was proper gritty stuff, I thought. And the other horse I like here is Reichsadler. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he got beat by a really good horse called Bass Terror, who is in this race, but he's drawn barrier 18, so probably can't really have him. Although I think, if Bass Terror is good enough, he'll just win. But obviously, bad draw. But this is the horse behind him, and who I thought ran a really strong race, Reichsadler, in that race at Nakayama. So, no queries about the trip. Both of the horses I've picked will get it easily. But whether they're good enough, and it's one of these sort of Guineas Derby races where there's going to be horses that really jump out of the ground and improve. So, yeah, it's very very competitive, and obviously Damien Lane's flying over there. I don't know if he's riding in Victoria. I don't think he's riding in Sydney, but he's there for this race. He does a lot of rides over there in between, obviously riding in Australia. But yeah, Japanese racing, what a product! Really good product. And then just last of all, I'll just quickly talk about Newbury on Saturday night. Saturday during the day over there, obviously. Fred Darling Stakes. We'll just go through this quickly because it's an okay race. It's not good if the internet worked, but we'll just have a quick look. I mean, obviously, Ammo Racing have won here. Tulane was, very promising as a 2-year-old. She returns here. Same with Princess Petrel. She was quite useful. It's kind of a bit of a niff-nuff race. I think, I feel like these sorts of races, nothing really good comes out of them. Except the Craven Stakes, you get Field of Gold. Obviously came out of it last year, but I feel like they kind of, they're not. The stars don't really come out of these sorts of races. In saying that though, obviously Aidan O'Brien's entered Albert Einstein in the Greenham Stakes. Now this is the most hyped 3-year-old in that yard. If you saw Aidan O'Brien's stable tour, he really sung this horse's praises. And he'll probably go to the 2,000 Guineas here if he runs well. It's kind of mad though. He's the best horse he's the fastest horse he's ever had or some shit, and he's 3-1 for this. Obviously his seasonal reappearance as a 3-year-old was really bad, but I feel like should be a little bit shorter than that. Zavateri obviously won that Group 1 in Ireland. Really, really good horse. He's actually one of my favourite horses in England at the moment. Just a really good attitude. I hope he wins here and goes to the 2,000 Guineas. Although I read somewhere, it was a tweet, so I might have been roped in, but he might go to the Irish 2,000 Guineas instead, which does make sense because he won in Ireland as a 2-year-old, so I kind of get it, but I hope he goes to the English one because it's a really open race this year. Then you got Title Roll, who's had a Dubai winter. He's been very good over there. He has looked good, but I think this might be a different level. And then Ardisia as well. That's a big price, I think. Oisin Murphy rides. Last seen running in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf where Gestard won. Although this horse didn't disgrace himself. He was up to a mile for the first time. He'd never run. His maximum trip before that was 6 furlongs. So goes up to a mile and runs midfield. That's quite impressive, to be honest. So I think Ardisia is probably a interesting each way horse in that race. That's a really hot race, actually. Really hot race. I'll be looking forward to that. And then I think it's the John Porter Stakes, but it's been renamed. Yeah, the Finest Surprise Stakes. And this was the race that Constitution Hill was meant to run in, but obviously good ground meant that they scratched him, which, they're going to be doing that a lot with him this summer. If they're going to be, really looking for good ground, which I get, but they might have to send him to France or Ireland to find a bit of a softer surface for him. But this is an okay race. You got Convergent, who I think he won a Group 1 last year somewhere. I think that's why he's carrying so much weight, or he won a decent race. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I think he ran second in the German Derby. And I think it might have been a Group 2 or something. Yeah, he won that race, so obviously gets penalised a bit here. Prior to Varus, who won the Dante Stakes. Yeah, it was that race. He won the Dante and then won the Great Voltager at York. Really, really weird horse that. Really hit and miss. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes as a 4-year-old. Al-Arsi obviously built for these races. He just farms these Group 3 mile-and-a-half races every year. And seems to be getting better with age. Very, very, very good horse. And Phantom Flight obviously has been in the Middle East recently. He does these preps in Bahrain and those sorts of places. So yeah, it's an okay race. Tenability is kind of interesting as well. But yeah, that's about it for the racing this week. And obviously, really good all over the place. I think there's some racing in the US this weekend as well. So. And then obviously the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks in 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, racing's really ramping up around the world, and it's a good time, I think. So, if you like this sort of content, just like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you later.